Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If she's been quieter lately, if her texts feel shorter, if her energy feels different, what if I told you she's not losing interest in you? What if she's scared of how much she feels? Before we go deeper, take 1 second, subscribe, like this video, because what I'm about to share will change the way you see her silence forever. You think when a woman pulls back, it means she's drifting away. That's what most men assume. Distance equals disinterest. Less enthusiasm equals less attraction. But emotional reality is not that simple, especially not with women. When a woman starts to feel something powerful, something that touches her sense of control, her first instinct is rarely to run toward it. It's to protect herself from it. You see, attraction is exciting, but deep emotional attachment. That's terrifying because attachment means vulnerability, and vulnerability means risk. When she realizes that your opinion affects her mood, that your attention changes her day, that your absence feels heavier than it should, something shifts inside her. She becomes aware that you now have influence over her emotional state. That awareness can shake her. She may slow down communication. She may need space. She may seem less expressive than before. Not because she feels less, but because she feels more than she expected. Men are taught to pursue when they're afraid of losing something. Women are wired to retreat when emotions start to feel overwhelming. It's not a game, it's regulation. She is trying to regain emotional balance. If she didn't care, she wouldn't need distance. Indifference is effortless. Fear only appears when something matters. And here's the truth most men never hear. When a woman feels safe with shallow attraction, she stays consistent. When she begins to imagine you in her future, she becomes cautious because now she has something to lose. You interpret her pause as rejection. She experiences it as emotional self-protection. The strongest feelings don't always look like passion. Sometimes they look like hesitation. And if you misread that hesitation, you will sabotage something that was just beginning to deepen. Let me tell you something most men never understand until it's too late. When a woman starts imagining you in her future, she doesn't get excited first. She gets careful. You see confidence in her when she's flirting. You see boldness when she's playful. You see warmth when everything feels light. But when her emotions shift from "this is fun" to "this could be serious," her nervous system reacts differently. Serious means impact. Impact means you could hurt her. And the moment she realizes you could hurt her, that's when she instinctively slows down. Not because she wants to leave, because she's asking herself a dangerous question. Is he safe for my heart? Women are not afraid of feeling attraction. They are afraid of investing attachment in the wrong man. And when her feelings start growing faster than her certainty about you, she pulls back to evaluate. She watches more than she talks. She thinks more than she reacts. She tests consistency instead of chasing intensity. And here's where men panic. You feel her shift. You sense the difference. The energy isn't as effortless, so you try to fix it. You push harder. You demand reassurance. You ask, "What's wrong?" over and over. That pressure confirms her fear. Because if she senses that her emotional fluctuation destabilizes you, she subconsciously questions whether you can handle deeper intimacy. A woman who feels deeply needs a man who remains steady, not louder, not more aggressive, steady. When she pulls back, she's watching how you respond. Do you spiral? Do you accuse? Do you withdraw your warmth to punish her? Or do you remain grounded? Emotional maturity in a man is proven in moments of uncertainty. If she didn't care, she wouldn't analyze you. She wouldn't reassess. She wouldn't need to slow down. She would simply fade. But fear of losing control over her feelings, that creates tension inside her. She may take longer to reply because she's thinking. She may cancel a plan because she needs to regulate. She may seem less expressive because she's protecting herself from appearing too invested too soon. You call it mixed signals. She calls it emotional caution. And if you can't tell the difference, you'll react in a way that confirms her worst fear that you're not emotionally stable enough for what she's starting to feel. The irony is powerful. The more she feels, the more controlled she becomes. And only a man who understands that will pass this invisible test. Here's the secret most men never hear. The strongest attraction often looks like distance. When she's scared of how much she feels, her actions can seem contradictory. She might lean in one moment, then pull back the next. She might send a sweet message and then go quiet for hours. If you don't understand the psychology behind it, it feels like rejection, but it's actually the exact opposite. Deep feelings trigger fear, and fear triggers defense. It's not about losing interest, it's about protecting herself from the intensity of her own emotions. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at something beautiful but terrifying. That's what she feels emotionally, and your response in that moment. That's what she's watching most closely. Men tend to react with anxiety, frustration, or pressure. You want clarity immediately. You want to fix it. But trying to control her feelings will only push her further away. Because a woman who is scared of how deeply she feels cannot be forced into comfort. She has to find it on her own. And she's watching to see if you can provide safety without being controlling. The way you remain grounded, calm, and confident during her pullback determines whether she trusts her heart with you. If you panic, if you lash out, if you withdraw warmth, she interprets it as danger. Not danger in the physical sense, but danger for her emotions, for her sense of stability, for the growing attachment she is secretly craving. And here's the key. Her distance is temporary, but your reaction can either shorten it or make it permanent. Your ability to hold space for her feelings without judgment, without impatience, is more magnetic than any compliment, any gift, or any show of affection. A woman who is scared of her feelings is simultaneously the closest and the furthest from you emotionally. She wants connection, but she's terrified of losing herself in it. Every man she meets will trigger some part of that fear, but the one who remains unshakable, who provides emotional consistency, becomes her anchor. Most men misread this as rejection. Most men respond in ways that confirm her fears. But when you understand the pattern, when you see fear for what it is, intense feeling masked as hesitation, you can respond in a way that deepens attraction instead of destroying it. Her pullback is not a withdrawal of love. It's the presence of love that's growing too fast for her comfort. And if you handle it correctly, if you stay steady, that love will only deepen. Here's something most men never realize. Her fear of feeling deeply is actually a sign of attachment, not a lack of it. When she hesitates, it's because she's already imagining scenarios in her mind where things could go wrong. She's envisioning her vulnerability, her trust, her heart in your hands, and she's asking herself silently, can I risk all of this with him? Men see hesitation as distance. Women feel hesitation as self-protection, and the difference is subtle but monumental. Most men respond by trying to chase, to convince, to reassure. But here's the truth. Reassurance is meaningless if it comes from panic or neediness. She doesn't need words. She needs a presence she can rely on consistently, no matter how her emotions fluctuate. When a woman is scared of how much she feels, she is hyper-aware of how you handle uncertainty. You could be the calm anchor she's looking for, or the storm she runs from. She notices the smallest details, the tone of your voice, your patience, your ability to maintain confidence without pressure. That's what builds trust. That's what builds emotional intimacy faster than any date, any gift, any romantic gesture ever could. And here's the twist. The more she feels, the more cautious she becomes. It's not about losing interest. It's about preventing herself from feeling too exposed too soon. Women are wired to test stability before surrendering fully. If you misread her pullback as rejection, you'll likely respond with anxiety, anger, or overcompensation. And that's when attraction begins to erode. Instead, the key is to slow down yourself. Mirror her pace. Hold your presence steady. Be consistent in your actions. Let her see through your calm that you're capable of handling her intensity without judgment. That's what transforms fear into trust and hesitation into desire. She may cancel plans, go quiet for hours, or withdraw in subtle ways. It's not disinterest, it's regulation. She's processing the magnitude of her emotions and deciding whether she can safely share them with you. Every man she's ever met has triggered some level of doubt or fear. But the right man, the one who remains grounded, becomes the exception. And when she finally feels safe, when she recognizes that your stability isn't conditional, her hesitations melt away. That's when her attraction explodes. Not because you chased her, but because you held space for her deepest feelings without losing yourself. Fear is not the enemy of love. Fear is love in disguise. It's the emotion that proves she's invested, that she cares, that she's imagining you deeply in her world. How you respond to that fear defines whether she closes her heart or opens it wider than you ever imagined. Let me be blunt with you. Most men completely misread this stage. They see her hesitations and assume she's losing interest. They panic. They start overthinking every word, every text, every emoji. And in that panic, they do exactly what pushes her further away. Here's the truth. When a woman is scared of how much she feels, she's not testing you. She's not playing games. She's asking herself a single question over and over. Is he safe for my heart? And your reaction to her silence, her space, her subtle pullbacks is the answer she's searching for. You could flood her inbox with messages. You could call incessantly. You could try to pressure her into giving you reassurance. But none of that works because fear cannot be talked away. Fear cannot be rationalized. Fear needs patience, stability, and emotional strength. What works? Calm, presence, consistency, a quiet confidence that says, I'm not going anywhere, and I don't need you to explain yourself to me to feel secure. That's magnetic. That's irresistible. That's what separates the men women can fall for from the men who are just temporary. She may pull back for hours, even days. She may seem distant, cold, or distracted, but in reality, she's processing. She's figuring out how to reconcile the intensity of her feelings with her need for emotional safety. And every time you respond with patience instead of panic, you are proving that you are a man she can trust. Notice this. The more afraid she is of her feelings, the more she wants to feel them, but only if she knows she's safe. Emotional intensity without security is terrifying. Security without intensity is boring. The man who can balance both, he is unforgettable. And here's the key most men miss. Her pullback is temporary, but your reaction can make it permanent. If you stay grounded, she'll come closer. If you overreact, you'll confirm her fears and distance yourself. So instead of chasing her, focus on yourself. Hold your center. Be the anchor she can rely on when the storm of her feelings gets too strong. Show up consistently, not dramatically. Be patient, not desperate. Stay confident, not controlling. Because fear of love is natural. The way you navigate her fear is what turns hesitation into desire, uncertainty into trust, and attraction into something deeper than either of you ever imagined. Now, here's a reality that most men never face. The deeper her feelings, the more complicated her behavior becomes. It's not random. It's not manipulation. It's the emotional gravity of caring too much and fearing it at the same time. She's caught between wanting to surrender fully and needing to protect herself from getting hurt. Every pause, every second of distance, every delayed reply is a reflection of her internal struggle. She isn't ignoring you. She isn't testing you to be cruel. She's negotiating with her own heart, asking herself if the attachment she feels is safe enough to explore. And that negotiation is not linear. It's messy, unpredictable, and intensely human. Most men see this as mixed signals, but the truth is, it's a woman's internal calibration. Her feelings are accelerating faster than her trust. That mismatch creates tension, hesitation, and what appears as withdrawal. And if you misunderstand it, if you respond with pressure, anxiety, or anger, you will become the reason she pulls away instead of the reason she leans in. The man who understands this doesn't fix her. He doesn't try to control her. He doesn't demand clarity or explanations. He simply demonstrates emotional consistency, reliability, and confidence. He allows her space without fear, and he holds his presence without neediness. That is the silent language that communicates safety, attraction, and value all at once. Her fear is a mirror. It reflects the strength of your character. The way you respond shows her whether your heart is steady enough to handle hers. The stronger your presence, the less her hesitation matters. The weaker your presence, the more her fear dominates the relationship. Think about this. She's imagining a future with you in moments you don't even notice. She's picturing intimacy, shared experiences, trust, and love. But her mind also asks, can he handle me when I'm fully me? Every pullback is a subtle test of your emotional stability. Every pause is a chance for you to prove you're dependable, grounded, and capable of holding space for her heart. Most men fail this test without realizing it. They chase, they beg, they panic, and in doing so, they confirm the very fears she's trying to protect herself from. But the man who understands her psychology, the man who reads hesitation as a signal of attachment, not rejection, becomes irresistible without saying a single word. Because here's the truth. Women don't fear attraction. They fear losing themselves in it. And when a man can show her she doesn't have to, she will give herself to him fully, passionately, and without reservation. Here's the part most men never hear. When a woman is scared of how much she feels, her behavior is a reflection of her emotional self-preservation, not her desire for you. Every hesitation, every pause, every slight withdrawal is a sign that she's grappling with something far bigger than the moment. It's her heart wrestling with the reality of attachment. She's asking herself questions silently, questions you will never hear out loud. Am I safe with him? Can he handle me at my worst? Can he remain calm when I reveal the depths of my emotions? These questions are not a game. They are survival mechanisms. Her nervous system is wired to protect her heart from anyone who might not be steady enough to handle it. And every man she's ever been with who failed that test has reinforced this instinct. When she feels overwhelmed by her emotions, her brain triggers a biological need to regulate, to pull back, to assess safety. That's why she might cancel plans, delay replies, or appear distant. You interpret it as rejection. She interprets it as protection. And here's the critical point most men miss. If you respond with insecurity, neediness, or pressure, you validate her fear. If you respond with calm, confidence, and emotional steadiness, you become the safe harbor her heart has been searching for. Her pullback is never a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of the intensity of her feelings. The deeper she cares, the more cautious she becomes. And every moment she feels safe with you, every second you remain grounded while she tests her feelings, strengthens the bond that she is slowly building in secret. This is why patience is not just a virtue. It is a weapon in the game of attraction. Not chasing her, not panicking, not overanalyzing, simply existing as a man who remains solid, predictable, and emotionally stable is the most magnetic thing you can do. She craves certainty in a world of uncertainty. She craves a partner who can weather her emotional storms without collapsing. If you can internalize this, you stop seeing her pullback as a threat. You start seeing it as a signal of her growing investment, a hidden declaration of attachment disguised as caution. And that subtle, silent truth, when fully understood, gives you the power to deepen attraction without ever having to pressure her into it. Because the more she fears the depth of her feelings, the more she secretly desires a man who can handle it. And when she finds him, she will give herself fully, without hesitation, without games, and without looking back. Now, let's close this in a way most men will never understand. Her fear of how much she feels is the clearest sign that she is emotionally invested. Every pause, every hesitation, every moment of distance is proof that she's imagining a life with you, and that thought terrifies her. Think about it. She's not pulling away because she wants to escape you. She's pulling back because she's confronting the reality of attachment. And attachment is risky. She's asking herself if you're capable of holding her heart without breaking it. And every reaction you have in response to her distance is either proof that you can or proof that you can't. If you panic, if you overcompensate, if you become needy, you confirm her fears. You become the danger she subconsciously worries about. But if you stay steady, calm, and confident, you become the exception. The rare man who demonstrates that she doesn't have to be afraid of her own feelings with you. That's when attraction transforms into something permanent, something profound. Understand this. Women don't want a man to fix their emotions. They want a man who can navigate them. They want a presence that is unwavering when their own feelings fluctuate. And they want someone who can handle intensity without losing himself. That is the ultimate test of male energy and the ultimate key to deep connection. Her fear is not a rejection, it's proof of her investment. It's proof that she's imagining scenarios in her mind where you matter. It's proof that she cares more than she's letting on. And it's your responsibility to respond not with panic, but with grounded presence. Every text she delays, every plan she hesitates on, every subtle shift in her energy is an opportunity. An opportunity to show her what stability feels like. An opportunity to demonstrate that her heart is safe in your hands. An opportunity to convert fear into desire, hesitation into trust, and attachment into deep, unshakable love. The truth is simple, but it's overlooked. The more she feels, the more cautious she becomes. The more cautious she becomes, the more she's secretly hoping that you'll prove her fears wrong. And when you do, when you remain steadfast, patient, and confident, she doesn't just fall for you. She gives herself to you fully, without gains, without hesitation, without doubt. So remember this, her pullback is never the end. It is the beginning of something far greater, something rare, something emotionally powerful. Handle it wisely. Hold your center and watch her fear transform into a love that is deeper and more enduring than anything you've ever experienced. She's not pulling away. She's scared of how much she feels. And that fear is your invitation to become the man she's been secretly searching.